Hello coin collectors out there, welcome back to the Big D Coins channel. Hopefully everyone is having a great day as always. In today's video we are going to focus in on these two coins. On the left we have a 1967 United States penny, and we have another penny from 1967, but it is from Canada. So very interesting. And the Canadian coin that you see right here might have a different reverse than you're used to seeing, because that's in the year 1965, or excuse me, that's 1966. We had the traditional maple leaf. 1967, we had a different design. In 1968, we went back to the maple leaf. So the one you see from Canada is actually a circulating commemorative coin. So this coin was only made for the year 1967. And as you can see, it's got two dates on it. That's because it's the 100th anniversary of Canada. The 100th anniversary right there, starting in 1867 and going all the way till 1967. So in the video, we'll talk about the values of these coins right here, and we'll also talk about the mintages of these coins. Now these coins right here, the nickel from 1967, the dime from 1967, and the quarter from 1967. I've done a lot of other videos about 1967 quarters and dimes, so we don't need to talk too much about them. But what makes these interesting is that they were all part of the Coinage Act of 1965. And don't worry, I actually have a $50 from 1967 as well, and it's included in this special mint set. So just stay tuned while I open this up. See if I can do it with one hand while I hold the other with the camera. Here we go. Here it comes. It is on its way, and here we go. Boom, there we have it. The special mint set from 1967. As I mentioned, this includes a penny, nickel, dime, quarter, and we have a $50. What makes this $50 special compared to the other coins is that there is still some silver in it. So this $50 is 40% silver, which is nice. It's not as nice as the 90% silver 1964 Kennedy $50, but it's still a very cool coin. These coins were made in these special mint sets because for the years 65, 66, and 67, the United States Mint did not make any mint sets or any proof sets. So all they made was these special mint sets right here, which are kind of in between a uncirculated set and a proof set, kind of this weird combination of the two. Other interesting parts of the Coinage Act of 1965, which carried over to these coins right here, is that they removed the mint mark from the coins. If you're looking for a Denver or a San Francisco Mint 1967 coin, you won't find any. In fact, you won't find any for 65, 66, or 67. If you go back to 64, you'll find one. If you fast forward to 68, you'll find Denver Mint Mark pennies, but not for those 3 years of 65, 66, and 67. And that was done to kind of discourage people from hoarding pennies. They wanted the pennies to go back into circulation, so they took the mint marks off them, as well as the other coins as well, so people would spend them more freely and not hang on to them. All right, now I want to run through the mintages of these coins, as well as kind of give you a brief overview of the values. I've got other pennies that we'll kind of look at as well that are all dated 1960s, just so we can kind of compare the wear and tear of these coins to the other ones from a similar era, so we can establish kind of what the value of these two would be. All right, let's look at the 1967 mintage for the penny that you see right here. There was a whopping 3,048,667,000 of these produced for that 1967 penny. Because of that, unfortunately, at a mint state 63 red brown, these will be worth 25 cents. At a mint state 65 red, they will be worth 40 cents. Now, for your penny to get that red designation, it has to have at least 90% of the original orange reddish color to it. So when copper is in its kind of natural condition. It's naturally this like orangish, reddish color to it. And as it interacts with the atmosphere, with the oxygen and the other chemicals in the atmosphere, it turns more into the brownish color. So it originally starts like this, goes to kind of like this, and then ends up like this eventually right here. And because of that, PCGS and other coin grading agencies have kind of valued the red pennies at a higher grade than the brown pennies. So if you see that RD designation, that indicates that it is red, has to have that red colors to it. I believe it's 90%. I have seen some other sources that kind of indicate that maybe it's 95%, but we can see this one right here hasn't really been oxidized at all, this 1967, so that would 100% get that red designation to it. All right, so there are over 3 billion 1967 pennies that were made. Let's quickly run through the mintages of the other coins right here, and then we'll get back to the talking about the penny. And there's actually a very interesting error associated with the 1967 special mint set half dollar. So we'll get to that as well. All right, so we talked about the mintage for the penny. There are 3 billion of them that were made. As far as the nickels go, much less, only 107 million of them were made. Now on to the dimes down here. The 1967 mintage for the dime, up pretty high again at 2.2 billion. So the dimes were one of those coins where they took the silver out and then pumped in a lot of the copper nickel clad. So these ones right here will have a outer layer will be copper nickel over a pure copper core. So that outer layer will be 75% copper, 25% nickel, and the inner core will be 100% copper. And now we are on to the quarters. So we've got these two right here, both representing the year 1967. The metal content of these is going to be the same as the dime that we're looking at. They will be 75% copper, 25% nickel on the outer, and then a pure copper core to them. There are 1.5 billion of these that were made in the year 1967. After that, 1968, those are actually a lot more rare, but in 1967, they were still trying to address that coin shortage, and because of that, these will be worth right here. These will be worth $6 in a mint state 65. So mint state is an uncirculated coin that's almost perfect. 70 is perfect, so a mint state 65 is pretty good. And now we are on to the mintage for the half dollar. These are the 40% half dollars. Let me refresh you on what we're looking at for those. So I have the 1967 half dollar from the special mint set right up there. There are 295 million of those that were made, and those will be worth a lot more in a mint state 65 condition. Those will be worth $22. So a very kind of worthwhile coin if you've got a good condition 1967. Now keep in mind that even if it is uncirculated, like this one right here, it can still have scratches and marks to it, which would might prevent it from getting that mint state 65 designation. All right, so we ran through the mintages. Let's talk about the cool error that I found associated with the 1967 Kennedy half dollar. So this comes to you from the Cherry Picker's Guide. For the 1967 special mint set, which happens to be the one that I've got, I'll bring it back into the shot right here. So the 1967 special mint set, there is a quintupled die obverse. You heard that right, people. A quintupled dyed obverse. A prominent quintupled, at least, spread is evident on the RTY in Liberty. So on the RTY right here, see if we look at any doubling or any quintuple doubling with strong multiple images on all obverse lettering and portions of the hair. So we've even got some doubling on portions of the hair up here and some quintupling, at least doubling on R, T, and Y in the lettering. This is a very elusive variety, it says, and this will be worth $225 at that SMS 66 grade. So a very rare and valuable doubled dyed associated with that 1967 special mint set. Now keep in mind the special mint sets from 1967. Those are, the mintages on those are much lower. I don't have them in front of me, but they'll be harder to get than your just regular issue coins right here. And then in addition, that Kennedy half dollar is 40% silver. All right, now let's talk about the, well, let's quickly run through, as I said, I mentioned looking at the different wear and tear of these coins, just kind of see how different coins from the 1960s, different pennies from the 1960s have weathered over the years. So we can see we've got a very nice 1965 here. We've got a brown, maybe a red brown, definitely brown, possibly red brown with these two up here. So we can see different oxidizations of these copper coins has resulted in different colors. The US coins aside, now let's look quickly at these two right here. So the coin in the center is the 100th anniversary coin, which is a circulating commemorative coin. This coin right here was made just in the year 1967. It's a 98% copper coin. It has a weight of 3.24 grams, has a diameter of 19.05, so very close to your United States coin. The reverse design that you see is a rock dove in flight, surrounded with the face value in the inscription Canada, 1867 to 1967. Now the edge of this coin will be smooth, so it's not going to be a redded edge there on the edge of the coin, just like the other years. As far as the mintage of this one goes, there are 345 million of these that were made. In a uncirculated condition, these will be worth 99%. In a AU condition, these will be worth 46. In a extra fine, they'll be worth 38. So because there were 345 million, they aren't going to be the rarest coin, but they would certainly be harder to find than the 3 billion United States coins, United States pennies that were made for the year 1967. So we're comparing 3 billion US pennies to 345 million Canadian pennies that you see right here. All right, folks, that's all the info that I've got for you today. Hopefully you enjoyed this nice look at the 1967 US and Canadian pennies. Thank you very much, everyone. If you're into coin collecting, please do check out some of the other videos on this channel. Thank you very much, and best of luck coin collecting out there. Enjoy.